Hey, 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 everyone. We are live and we are here. I hope you are here with me today because I'm very excited about this new training that I have for you. So, if you don't know me or if you haven't seen me before, I am Jane Gary, known as the sales strategist for the non salesperson and the founder and owner of Show Stopping Sales. Committed business owners hire me to ensure that they stop the stress and get to yes in their one on one sales conversation. So ultimately, they can serve more people, make more money, and have more fun. I want to talk to you a little bit today about what that actually means. Stop the stress and get to yes. I use that phrase very intentionally because a sales conversation is really incredibly fun. A sales conversation is an opportunity to change somebody's life for the better. And a sales conversation is what will move your business forward, meaning it generates revenue. And if you don't generate revenue, you aren't making money. And if you're not making money, technically you don't have a business. You have, let's call it an outreach. So stop the stress and get to yes. Why you want to have rich conversations that make people realize that they have options to improve their lives or businesses, and how to come out of that so you feel really good and you both know that you are winning because you're investing in each other. They are investing their money in you and you are investing your time in them. So everybody wins. All right. So today, what I want to do is talk about this concept of why selling ice to an Eskimo is actually proof that you're a terrible salesperson. So I want to jump into that today. If you have any questions or just want to give me a hi or a shout out, please do that. I love that. I love working with people. I love the energy in the room when I'm in presentations and on stages. And of course, I always want to be here to serve you. So if you have any questions or if there's something I can help you with, let me know and I will get to that. All right, here we go. So why being able to sell ice to an Eskimo is actually proof that you are a terrible salesperson. I like to use this as an illustrative story because I met a woman one time and she was a self-proclaimed sales expert, really great at sales. And we were just kind of having this conversation and I asked her something like, what makes you good or how good are you, or I don't really remember what the question was, but what I do remember is her answer. She kind of looked at me and very smugly said, I could sell ice to an Eskimo. Hey Robin, good, you're gonna love it because I'm just getting started. I could sell ice to an Eskimo is what she said, and she was clearly very proud of this fact. And I remember my whole body reacted to it. I probably physically recoiled. I have a terrible poker face, so I'm sure my face was something like, you said what? Because it freaked me out. I can sell ice to an Eskimo. There's nothing okay with that sentence. There's just nothing in it that's any good, because what you're actually saying is I am very proud of the fact that I am able to accomplish what I need to accomplish, and I really don't care how it affects this other person. What you're also saying in that sentence is I am so charming and charismatic and convincing that I can talk people into spending money on things they don't want or they don't need. So that phrase has been around for a really long time. I've never been a fan of it, but when I heard it actually coming out of someone else's mouth, I realized why it was so dangerous and why it was so damaging, and why that is one of the reasons why being a salesperson gets such a bad reputation. Why on earth would you want to talk anybody into getting something they don't want or need? And here's the kicker, because that's what you want and need. Not good. There's nothing good about it. So that's not selling. That is fulfilling your own agenda without taking the time or the interest, and frankly, even caring about what is in the other person's best interest. So are you selling? Yes, because the technical definition of selling, according to the dictionary, is the exchange of one resource for another. So anytime someone buys your program, they are giving you their resource, which is money. You are giving them your research, which is your time and your expertise. So selling is just exchanging resources so that you each get what the other resource is from the other person. So yeah, if you're doing that, if somebody is handing you money, is giving you money, and you are going to exchange it for your knowledge, time, or expertise, technically a sale has been made. That is an awful way to make a living. It is a terrible way to go through life, and it is just a horrendous way to treat people. So don't do that. And I don't know if I'm being clear here, so let me say it again. Don't do that ever for any reason. You never want to fulfill your own agenda so you can get what you want at the expense of somebody giving something up that is not what they want to do, not how they want to do it, and it's not something that they truly want or need. All right, so I'm going to give you 3 problems today that actually support this concept that if you can sell ice to an Eskimo, you're actually a very terrible salesperson. Actually, I could probably go a little bit further and say you're not that nice of a person either, but well, I won't go that far today in judgment. So here we go. Problem number 1. You go in determined to make the sale. No, you never go into a conversation with a prospect determined to make the sale. The minute you do that, that conversation has become all about you and making sure that you get what you want and need. You need the client. You need the money. You want the expertise to be shown or shared with others. You want an eventual referral. Whatever is going on there, if you go into any prospective conversation determined to make the sale, you are already on the wrong track. The purpose of a sales conversation is not to close. That's a really radical statement, and I actually get pushback from other sales professionals. I can't go into all of that today, but stay tuned because I am going to address this in a future training. The purpose of a sales conversation is not to close. In my opinion, the purpose of a sales conversation is a vetting process. It's for you to get to know and decide if this is a person who has a problem you can solve, if you're the best person to solve it, and if you actually want to work with them. They are vetting you because they're determining, are you able to solve their problem? Are you the best person to solve the problem? And do they want to work with you? So you actually have a lot of power when you come into a sales conversation. It's not about you going, oh, I really need this and I hope they hire me. And that puts you in a one down position. And it also means that you're going in with the agenda to close the deal. That's not what I want you to do. Think of this in, love you back, Robin. Let's get lunch when we can do that. Think of this in terms of dating, right? And women, hear me out here because we are notorious for doing this. I've done it myself. So you go on a date and you just like, yeah, wow, this guy is just woohoo. You know, you are really excited to be out on the date with this guy. What tends to happen? We immediately go to, oh, I wonder if he likes me. I wonder if he likes the way I look. I wonder if he likes how I sound. I wonder if he like. All the focus and concentration is on, does this person like me and how can I convince them to like me? That's not a good setup in dating, and it's not a good setup in a sales conversation. Just like in dating, what would be preferable would be, he seems to be interesting. I wonder if I'm going to like him. He seems to be kind. I wonder if I would enjoy going out on a second date with him. He seems to be interesting. I wonder if we could continue a conversation that is still actually interesting and fulfilling. You are vetting that man, and you want to do that in the same conversation with a prospect. This is about you deciding in your full power with complete clarity whether or not you want to consider having a relationship with this person. Make no mistake, when you sell anybody anything, you have just entered into a relationship with somebody. Don't discount that. If you do, you are setting up a situation for kind of a one-off and love them and leave them, and that's going to create problems on the back end. So problem number 1, you are determined to make the sale. This is not a great strategy because it puts pressure on both of you. You show up with a lot of energy that you're pressuring yourself. I gotta close. I gotta make sure I get this client. I gotta make sure I collect the credit card. Whatever it is that's going on, this is not a good strategy for you because you are putting pressure on you. It's also not a good strategy because you're putting pressure on your prospect. Make no mistake, they can feel that. When you show up with that energy of, I got to close, I need the money, I want this client, whatever the situation is, I know plenty of people, they don't need the money, but it's actually kind of this competition. I got to get this, I got to close. Whatever's going on there, not a good strategy. You want to come in with energy that you're determined to find out what's going on with this person, and don't put that pressure on yourself or on them. I'm going to give you 3 actually, Jainisms, as my clients tend to call them. And this is when I say some declarative sentence and they go, oh, writing it down. That's what always happens. So Here's what I say. I love this one. Actually, this is really profound. People aren't paychecks, so do not treat them that way. I'm going to say that again for you. People aren't paychecks, so do not treat them that way. Really, most of us, we don't do it intentionally, but whatever is going on in our own head and in our own lives and our own situations, that can actually happen. So let me share with you one of my clients. She's so good at what she does. And she recently, she had a webinar, and it was a little bit of a struggle to her. And I could just tell that her energy was off. So we got on the phone after she was finished, and her presentation was great. I helped her create it. We structured everything up. We put language in there. It was a lovely presentation. And I could just tell something was a little bit off. So we got on the phone and I said, Annie, something was kind of off there when you did this presentation. What was going on? And she said a variety of things. But I said, I just have a feeling that even though we talked about it, it still feels like you're in there trying to close the deal. Like you're really crossing your fingers underneath the desk going, I hope they buy, I hope they buy. And how does that land on you? And she actually got really emotional, and she said, you know what, you're right. I'd been telling myself that I really didn't care whether people enrolled in this or not. But now that you're saying this, it's bringing everything up for me. And what I'm realizing is I got on this webinar so that I could sell people and they would give me their money. I got on this webinar because I need the income. I got on this webinar because I knew that I can help people and I wanted them to come to me and compensate me for that. Now, hear me on this. There's nothing wrong with any of that. There is nothing wrong with requiring compensation for your time and your expertise and your knowledge. There's nothing wrong with trying to run a profitable business. In fact, that's why businesses exist. Otherwise, we go back to what I said earlier, you have an outreach. So be very clear with yourself. If you are wanting compensation for the work that you do, then that is a business. If you don't want compensation for the work that you do, that's okay. And that's okay. That's just a different conversation. So back to my client. What we did is then we really engaged in this conversation where I said, what if this were the case? What if you didn't need the money at all? What if you just were independently wealthy and were doing this for a hobby? Meaning we would pay you to show up and do this. And you would say, no, thank you. I would just do this for free because I love it that much. What if you were so focused on the moment and the delivery and the process of what you're sharing that you truly did not care what happened at the end of it? And that was enough to make her realize that you can simultaneously expect and need compensation for the work that you're doing, but be completely unattached to it. So people aren't paychecks. Don't treat them that way. Now, I have to tell you, none of my clients have the mindset of people are paychecks, and that's not who my clients are. They are very heart-centered. They are very driven to create impact and influence. They are wonderful, incredibly gracious, extremely cool, kind-hearted people. They are sincere. They are authentic. Those are the only types of people that I would work with. And there is an expectation when they put their work out that they'll get compensated for it. Nothing wrong with it, but if it's the expectation, you will pull that energy into it. Okay, hopefully I've explained that so that it's clear. So I want to give you a reframe on this. Your reframe is, I don't go in determined to make the sale. I go in asking specific and thought-provoking questions so I can determine what this person wants and why they want it. You go in and ask deep thought-provoking questions trying to determine what this person needs and wants and why they need and want it. That is your first step. That's the vetting process. In sales, actual language, we call it qualifying. But what you're doing is qualifying whether or not you are going to be able to work with this person in a way that feels good and actually solves their problem. And they are looking to qualify whether you are the right and best person and if you can solve their problem and in a way that feels good to them. So problem number one, you go in determined to make the sale. Our reframe on that is you go in determined to ask deep thought-provoking questions so that you have a very clear understanding of what this person needs, what this person wants, and why they need or want it. All right. Problem number two, you're going for the quick win. This is also not good. This is slightly, I I don't want to say better. It's a little bit more into a more heart-centered reason to engage in a conversation with somebody for the purposes of determining if you want to work together or not. But the problem is when you go in for the quick win, you're thinking short term in the now. It's kind of a grab and go and off you go. So this isn't a good strategy because you are not building longevity with your ideal clients. So let's go back to the problem number one. You've changed your mindset. You're not going into to make the sale. You're going into to determine if this is a relationship you want to enter into. That's great. That's really, really good. Keep doing that. Now, we're starting to come into problem number two, however. You're only thinking of the quick win, meaning in this moment, does this person have a problem that I can solve? Nothing wrong with that question. And let's just think out a little bit further. So if you can solve the problem that your client currently has, inherently a new problem will come along. So there's a rhythm in life, and it certainly shows up in a sales conversation, which is a person has a problem, that problem gets solved, and then a new problem arises after the solution. So let me give you an example on that. Say that I'm going through, this is true. Say that I'm going through really watching my nutrition, working out, just trying to be diligent about my health, which part of that would be losing some weight. Great. So that happened. So my first problem is I'm trying to lose some weight. Beautiful. That is solved. Guess what my next problem is? I'm going to have to replace some clothing. So problem, want to lose weight. Solution, I do. New problem, I need to buy some new clothes. So here's why you want to be really conscientious of what's going on when you're in any conversation with somebody. Can you help them now? And what problem is going to arise from you actually providing the solution in this moment? This is why it's really important to do this. When you do that, you're actually positioning yourself as a strategist who understands comprehensively where your prospect is, where they want to be, and what they need to have happen to get there. That is an entirely upgraded, up-leveled persona to embody and to be, as opposed to I can help you with this one thing and then kind of I'm out of here. And I don't mean that you're being callous. I just mean that you're thinking very short term. You have a problem, I will help you. Boop, off you go. The reason why this is really key ultimately is because it is far easier to retain clients and get them to continue to invest in working with you than it is to try and create new clients all the time. Repeat clients are also better quality. I call it the love factor. You love them and they love you. That's why I'm with my clients. There's nothing I won't do for them once we're in that really great spot of they've been around, I've been around. We have a true relationship. So how you tend to handle your relationships outside of your business, probably how you're going to handle them inside your business. I'm very loyal. I'm very passionate about people. I always say I just turn up like a bad penny. Like it's really kind of hard to get rid of me sometimes with your permission once we get going, right? There's nothing I wouldn't do for my clients. So I really want to understand what is going on for you now. What is your current problem? What's the solution that you're looking for? And then what can we anticipate that's going to come down the road? I love doing that because it helps create that relationship, which is as important for me as it is for them. And it also helps me be a better service provider deliverer, better service delivery provider. There we go. It helps me do the work that I do better. And that's because I can make a more powerful, informed decision when I understand not just what their current problem is, but what the next one's going to be and what the next one's going to be. That is called being a strategist. That is called being able to understand that your client probably just doesn't need you in the moment. They're going to need you in the future. Bonus, even if they don't need you in the future, because you understand what they're going to need in the future, you can then provide really strong referrals. I work with so-and-so. You now need this. I don't do this. That's not my area of expertise, but you can go talk to my friend and colleague, Sally. So problem number two, you're going for the quick win. The reason why it's not a good strategy is you aren't building longevity with your ideal clients. And it's easier to grow your business with ideal clients who are repeating their business and investment with you than it is trying to get new clients all the time. So here's your reframe on this. I assess not just what my prospect needs now, but what they need in the future. Okay. Moving on to number 3. Just checking for questions here. What's Robin saying? People will feel you long before you say a word. Yeah, you know what, Robin? Here's another thing that I'm always telling my clients, which is people fall in love with you and then they buy the whatever, right? And if you first hear that, sometimes people they back away a little bit, like what? I don't understand what you're saying. What does that mean? Or it feels a little threatening to them, and it's not. It should feel like one of the best things on the planet. People fall in love with you and then they make a decision to work with you or buy the thing that you're selling. You should actually want that. There's nothing worse than picking up your phone or checking your email and going, oh boy, it's my client Sally. What is it now? Sally's always complaining. It's always an issue. I'm constantly stressed out when I ever see Sally in my email or on my phone. That's no. That's not a client you want to work with. The opposite of that is, oh, check it out. Sally's on the phone. Sally's in my email. Wonder what's going on. Yeah, sure. That's what you're wanting. You're wanting those relationships. There's nothing more magical than being in relationship with your clients who show up just loving who you are, what you do, and knowing that you're going to make a good partner for them in their journey. Yes, people by people. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Does the world need another sales trainer? Of course not. And are there people that choose to work with other people because I'm not their cup of tea? Yeah. That's great. I'm super fine with that. In fact, I would prefer it because I really only want to work with people that kind of get the essence of what I'm trying to do, that understand my mission. And it's not that it's making it about me, because it's not. What it is doing is it allows me to get into partnership with them. And instead of having kind of to fight to get them to open up and receive what it is I'm giving, they're already ready to do that. That's a beautiful thing. I can do so much more with that kind of person in that kind of relationship to ensure that they see success, that they're starting to feel good about their sales conversations, and that they're putting their great work out into the world. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Robin. All right, third problem. So just a quick recap for everybody. If you're joining us, we are talking about why being able to sell ice to an Eskimo proves that you are a terrible salesperson. So we talked about problem number 1, which is you determined to go in to make the sale. Problem number 2 is you're going for the quick win. And here's problem number 3. You aren't considering the service delivery. If you're watching this, there's a high probability that you are in the greater self-development arena. You're a coach, you're a mentor, you're a trainer. You're doing something where you are actually the service provider. You're not, none of us are selling widgets and tossing it over to the customer service department in the hopes that everything will be okay. You should never do that anyway, by the way. In this industry in particular, you need to be extraordinarily careful, because when they say yes, you're going to be the person that shows up and shows them how to hold the widget and use the widget and implement the widget. That's you. So there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide, and you shouldn't need to and you shouldn't want to. So problem number 3 is you aren't considering the service delivery. You aren't considering when they say yes, I now actually have to show up and do the thing that I promised that I could do for them with the results that I told them they could get. So PD addict. I don't know what PD is. Type out what PD is for me, Robin. So when you go in and you're not considering the service delivery, it's not a great strategy, because there's a decision to buy, and then there's the implementation of the thing that they have bought. There's the usage of the thing that you have bought. That's a different thing than I'm deciding to say yes. So there's deciding to say yes, and then there's implementing what needs to happen after the yes. So it's not a good strategy if you aren't considering the service delivery. You are going to have major issues on the backside. So what do you need to do? You need to make sure that both of you are set up for success. How do you do that? So here's your reframe. When you are having a conversation, personal development, yeah, absolutely. So that was Robin's PD. Personal development, that's what I'm talking about here. Your personal development should be in any conversation. Number 1, does this person have a problem I can solve? I mean, for reals, not, I kind of think I sort of can, I'll fake it until I make it. No. Does this person have a problem that I feel 100% confident I can solve? With their help, I'm not talking about doing work for the people, but can you solve their problem? Number 2, am I the best person to solve this problem? And number 3, are they ready to do what they need to do to get this problem solved. So your reframe on this is to be really, really certain that you can deliver the thing that they need and that you feel confident about it. If you don't do that, you are going to make a fatal mistake. Why is that? Goes back to what I was talking about in point number 2 and point number 1. You're just in it for the quick win. You're trying to get the yes without thinking about what's going to happen on the other side of that yes. So one of my clients, she was working with somebody and she was wanting to enroll them. And I said, well, what's going on? And it was, well, I know I can help them and they don't understand that they need this. And, they say that they don't have the money, but I know they could come up with the money. And it was kind of this whole conversation from her about why she thought this person should pay and work with her. And I said, well, I'm actually a little concerned about that because I hear you're very passionate about her working with you, but how passionate is she about working with you? Is she ready, willing, and able to do what needs to be done? The problem that she has now, is it something that you can solve? And are you going to be able to stick with her for a little bit longer? Can you really come up with a strategy there? Like what's actually happening? Well, long story short, my client was able to get this potential client of hers to say yes. So this person enrolled, this person paid her the money, this person signed up. I didn't have a good feeling about it. I thought, I don't think this is going to have a happy ending. And it didn't, because the next phone call I got from my client was she wants to back out and she wants a refund. And I said, yeah, that'll happen. So why is it going to happen? It's not that you're not brilliant at what you do, and it's not that you can't deliver the service or even that you cannot solve the problem. You actually can. But were you the best person? Probably, maybe. Let's table that one. But here's the big question. Were they ready, willing, and able to do what was required of them to ensure that you could do the work that you need to do to get them results? And no, they were a clear no. No. So here's the other thing I want you to remember about this. Not everybody's going to be a yes. You don't want everybody to be a yes. You need to be very careful that everybody's not a yes. So if you're going, blazing out into every conversation, I got to get the sale, got to make sure they say yes, I need to close, and I'll deal with it. I'll close this up now and I'll worry about how to work with them later. No, you're headed down a wrong road. Do not do that. I know the concept of fake it until you make it and say yes now and figure out how to do it later. Those are kind of prevalent, popular sayings and concepts. I don't disagree with them. And in a sales conversation, those are usually not the best roads to go down. You do not want to fake it until you make it, meaning you show up in a sales conversation and you say, yeah, I can do this. And yeah, I can take care of it. And you get their money, they invest in you. And then you realize, maybe I can't actually follow through like I wanted to. Maybe I really wasn't clear in understanding what it was that they needed. So not great philosophies in your one-on-one sales conversations. You want to own your space. You want to own your work. You want to know 100% that if they show up, you will show up and meet them there and they will get the results that they're looking for. If you really don't think you can deliver that, far better to say, you know what, Sally, I'm hearing that you need X, Y, and Z. I've got some of that, but it's truly not my full area of expertise. So I don't think us working together right now is the best fit. However, I do have a colleague who's amazingly great at solving the problem that you have. I would love to give you her name and number. How does that sound? You'll get more business that way by actually saying no thank you than you ever will by saying yes, 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 and then hoping you can figure out how to deliver or hoping your work is going to be what they need. So you have all the power in a consultation, in a sales conversation. And what I mean by power is I want you to go in confident that, you know what, this person isn't a paycheck, provision is forthcoming. I believe that with everything I've got. I am showing up in this conversation to serve. I am showing up in this conversation to make sure that there's a vetting process that's going on. I am showing up in this conversation to, yes, 100% make them an offer if this is going to be a good fit if I want to work with them and if I think that we can partner up together and do this thing. And if that is what you're going into your conversations with, you will be absolutely golden. So no more selling ice to Eskimos. No more trying to convince people to buy things that they don't need or want. And you will know, if you're really listening to what's going on in your head and your heart, you will know this person's not really a great client for me. So that's the voice that you want to listen to, not the fake voice of fear over here saying, yeah, but you need the money. Okay. So I want you to listen to your clear, calm voice that says, shh, shh, it's okay. Provision is forthcoming. You're good at what you do. You've got a plan. You've got a system. You've got support. You're going to be okay. And this person that you're talking to right now, probably not the best fit for you. Bless them, release them, refer them to somebody else. You don't need this. Take that pressure off of yourself. Take that pressure off of you and work with people who have a problem that you can solve when you're the best person to solve it, and they are happy to get into relationship with you and move forward. So final summation here, we're talking about why being able to sell ice to an Eskimo is proof that you're a terrible salesperson. Number one, problem number one, you would go in determined to make the sale. That's not a good strategy because it puts pressure on both of you. Your reframe on that is you're going to ask specific and thought-provoking questions to have a deep understanding of what they want and why they want it. Problem number two, you're going for the quick win. This is not a great strategy because you're not building longevity with your ideal clients. So your reframe on this is you are going to assess what your prospect needs now as well as in the future. That's how you build a sustainable business with ideal candidates, ideal clients who absolutely love you. And problem number three, you aren't considering the service delivery. This is not a great strategy because the decision to buy is a different decision than am I happy with the implementation of what I just bought. So your reframe on that is, am I able to solve the problem that this person has? Am I the best person to solve the problem that this person has? And is this person ready, willing, and able to do what they need to do so I can get them to where they want to be and get the results that they're telling me that they want? All right, so that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this training. I'm just going to double check, see if there are any more questions or comments. No, so sales is first and foremost an inside job, and it can start really bringing up some uncomfortable feelings. It can start bringing up just a whole host of stuff, right? Just a lot can start going through your head. So here's my invitation to you. If you are realizing that you have been participating in one of these activities, otherwise known as kind of a problem in your sales conversation, I would be happy to help you suss that out, assess that, determine what is going on and what you need your next steps to be. So if that's something that's coming up for you, yeah, I'm kind of feeling yucky. I'm realizing I am doing one of these things or multiple of these things and I just don't want to do it anymore. And it's certainly not where my heart lies. Then you can email me directly. That's Jane@showstoppingsales.com, Jane@showstoppingsales.com. If you are realizing that your idea of what a sales conversation is radically different than what you ever thought it was before, then I would really love to talk to you about that. Sales should be fun. I have always said sales is a noble profession. It is truly serving people at the highest level. I believe that with everything I've got. So if you're ready to move away from conversations that feel like it's something you have to do and conversations that are more something you are looking forward and wanting to do because you know that you can help people with what they want to accomplish, send me an email. We can jump on the phone. Jane@showstoppingsales.com. All right, Robin, you are so welcome. Robin said this was great. Robin, you are so welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've got really cool stuff coming up for the future. I actually just got started doing these trainings. This is only I think this is my third one, maybe my fourth. So you should see all my notes. I am cooking up stuff in the kitchen like you wouldn't believe for you all. I'm super excited to deliver it to you. I'm going to have raffles, prizes, games, freebie giveaways. So I have got a lot in store for us. I hope you will continue to partner with me in this journey, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks a lot, everybody. Talk to you later.